In light of the very intense political situation that we currently are in as a country, I thought it was time for us to talk about the effects of war on military families. Welcome to the Military Marketing Monday segment, where I help you, the brand, learn more about my life as a military spouse so that you can market to my demographic better. There is a lot going on in the world today that is leaving us incredibly politically charged and polarized as a country, as a world, and I think that one of the things that often gets overlooked is the military families that have to deal with this on a regular basis. Recently, at the time of this recording, Syria was attacked by the United States in a joint collaboration with the UK and France. And it has left a lot of people talking about what's going to happen next, what are the political effects this is going to have, what is this going to do for the world, is this World War III? But the one thing that everyone keeps forgetting about are the people that are actually doing the work, the active duty service members in the military. And what's more is there's a lot of hate speech that's going around this, and it really affects the families that are being put through this. So I want to make this video to make sure that you are aware of what we military families are going through while we're in a time of war, essentially. I think the biggest effect that going to war or politically charged events is the increased stress that it causes on family members. There are so many things that come into effect. You're worrying constantly about what's going to happen in the news. Is our active duty spouse going to be deployed? All of the stress that comes from outside family, outside friends, asking questions. There's a lot of unseen preparedness that goes on, making sure things like bug out bags are ready, 72-hour bags are ready, making sure that legal documents are in place, like living wills, testaments, power of attorneys. There's a lot of back end things that are happening that cause that extra stress and concern. There's also a lot of worry that happens with the unknowns. How is this going to affect my family? What is going to happen if my spouse does deploy? What is the condition that they're going to come back to me in? There are so many unknowns and so many stresses that are happening that when we are seeing our social media feeds and our news feeds filled with so much political bipolarism, so many opinions, so much hate, it really affects us very personally. And it's really hard for us because we rely so much on social media to stay connected to the world, to our friends and to our families, because most of us are hundreds of miles away from them. This can also cause a lot of strain on our children. I know that for me, my children are very young and aren't super aware of what's going on in the world, but they do know that when we are in high tense situations that mom and dad are stressed out and they worry about us and they ask, hey, mommy, daddy, are you okay? And we have to do our best to reassure them. My children have said goodbye to their father as he's gone off to deploy to heavily combat situations. And it is not easy as their mom to try and explain to them that daddy's coming home and you not actually knowing if they are. So what is it that you can do? Maybe not even just as a brand or a marketer, but as an individual. I have a couple ideas for you. One, don't ask if we're worried. Of course we're worried. We kind of live in this state of constant worry because we never know when something's going to happen like this and our spouse is going to be called off to do what essentially they've been trained to do. No matter what anybody says, while we know what we're getting into, we don't know. And you will never know until you say goodbye to somebody and not know if they're coming back. So of course we are worried. Don't ask us if we know what is happening. You know what we know. We get the same news that you do, and until we're given specific orders or direction, we don't know much more than you guys do. Don't ask us if our spouse is being deployed. We don't know. And additionally, because of OPSEC, we're not going to be able to tell you anyway because that puts the mission in jeopardy and puts our spouse's safety in jeopardy. So don't ask because we're not going to tell you. The best thing that you can do in any way, shape, or form is to just be supportive. Remind those military families, remind those active duty service members that they are loved, that they are cared for, and that they are being prayed over, because having that emotional support is the best thing that we need right now to get through this, to know that someone has our back and that is going to take care of us in our time of need. And above all, please, please think before you post. You never know when somebody is a Facebook friend of yours or a Twitter follower of yours or an Instagram fan who is dealing with this. There are thousands of troops that are deployed all over the world from all of the various conflicts that are going on. So please, please be mindful of what you're saying, because you could be doing damage to your personal reputation with that military family member, and also it's just really insensitive in general. There's so much that's happening behind the front lines with those families that it's just really inconsiderate and can be very cruel. But you don't have to take just my word for it. I have a special guest that I want to introduce you named Tessa. She's going to tell you what you should probably be doing to make sure that your brand does the best it possibly can through these times of war.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm TT Robinson. I'm a Navy wife. I'm a mom of 2 young children. And I'm a writer, the founder of Humans on the Home Front, sharing the stories of our men and women in uniform and the people who love them. And most importantly for this video, I'm a buyer. And I can tell you, as someone whose husband is currently deployed, as a military family back in the States, watching what's happening overseas, we're listening, not just to the news, not just to our friends. We're listening to you as the brands that we know and love and trust. And what we want to hear from you, especially right now, is that you've got our backs. Now, there's something else you need to know, and that's that regardless of what you think about us going into Syria, regardless of your opinion on the commander-in-chief, we need to know that you believe in the men and women who serve. And to be honest with you, I don't actually want to see how incompetent you think the leadership is in DC. Because for me, regardless of my own political opinions, that leadership is the leadership that decides when and where and how our military does what they do. And I need to know and have confidence that they've got my husband and all of the husbands and wives and kids and parents out there, their best interests at heart. So what I want to see from you is support. And I also want you to recognize that although Syria is the hot button topic today, we're 17 years into war. This operational tempo for our military families has been unending since 9/11, and there's no end in sight for us. For us today, it's Syria. Tomorrow it might be North Korea. A week it may be China or Russia, South America. It doesn't matter. We go where we're needed. Our military is always there, and our military families are always standing beside them and behind them, waiting for them to come home. So this week, especially with all that's going on in the news, I ask that you really think about what you're posting, so that if a wife like me, whose husband is currently overseas, reads it, she'll want to buy from you time and time again. Military families are known for being incredibly loyal, not just as consumers, but as people as well. And if we know that you've got our backs, we'll be back to buy from you over and over. Thanks for your time. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the week.
Wow, thank you so much, Tessa. That was so perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, guys, I hope that this gave you a really good insight into what it's like to be a military family and how these times of war affect us so negatively. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. And hey, if you have any love, support, or prayers that you can leave for all of those who are serving, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you are feeling extra generous, make sure that subscribe button below so that you don't miss any more Military Marketing Mondays, so that your brand can stand out better in that cluttered newsfeed with military families, active duty, and veterans. If you're looking to find out more about military life through our various Military Marketing Monday videos, you use any of these videos that are right here. They're going to help give you a better insight. And like we always say in military life, it is never goodbye, it is see you soon. So until next time, I'll see you soon.